Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Education Symposium. So thank you for joining us for the ADADA and ADA session. My name is Hiroyuki Matsuguma, and I am an associate professor at the Faculty of Design, Kyushu University. And I will be your MC for this session. The Faculty of Design, Kyushu University organized this symposium, and ADA and ADADA co-sponsors. I'll explain about the ADA and ADADA a little bit. So ADA is an activity going on for 20 years as a competition for the public presentation of the artworks. In addition, ADADA is an association for the sharing of theories that underlie the artworks. These two forums continue to work together as two wheels. We are pleased to be here today at ADADA and ADA to present this symposium. For the opening of this event, we have the Dean of the Faculty of Design, Kyushu University, Professor Akira Omoto, to give his opening address. Professor Omoto, please.
Yep, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. On the occasion of the ADADA plus ADAA Creative Education Symposium Online, as a member of co-organizers, I'd like to address you as a Dean of the Faculty of Design, Kyushu University. Welcome, I'm Akira Omoto. I'm very pleased to hold this symposium in the middle of the continuing effects of the COVID-19. The global pandemic, which has already lasted for 2 years, has brought various negative impacts to our human lives. However, we have ways of learning and expressing ourselves using information and communication technology like this Zoom. Moreover, the quality of these ways is improving rapidly and continuously. So we have held this symposium in a format that allows many people to gather regardless of their location. I hope we can continue to make progress without stopping. Our Faculty of Design, Kyushu University, where we have this symposium today, is a department that deals with a wide range of design. The subject matter of design has been expanding to cover everything from things to objects to visions and even the state of society. But needless to say, the media arts are one of the most important pillars of our department's education and research programs. Our Faculty of Design is a main organizer of the Asia Digital Art Award ADAA, which is now in its 21st year, and our faculty provides full support. In addition, our faculty is actively promoting internationalization, and we recognize people in Asia are powerful and very, very important partners. We hope to continue to promote exchanges in a wide range of fields and at various levels in the future. It will be a short symposium on Sunday afternoon. However, I hope that this symposium will be meaningful. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Omoto. In the first half of this session, 5 cool panelists will introduce case studies of creative education after COVID-19, followed by a discussion in the second half. The session will end around 6 p.m., maybe, I hope. So please stay with us until the end. So I will continue with a brief introduction of each panelist. So first of all, from China, Professor Mi at Tsinghua University. Please give us your introduction briefly.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Haipeng Mi. I'm from Tsinghua University, Academy of Arts and Design in China. So my background, actually, I first studied science and engineering. Then I came to Japan, studied my PhD in the University of Tokyo. And after that, I have worked with Professor Kawaguchi Yoichiro for years. That experience was quite important for me because my career paths have changed from an engineer to a designer. So now I'm working in the Academy of Arts Design, Tsinghua University, to teach some design courses. I'm very glad to have this opportunity to share some of my experience and hope to communicate with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mi. And next from Korea, Professor Jinny at Korea National University of Arts. Please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really glad to meet you all virtually. My name is Jinny Choo, and I'm from Korea National University of Arts Animation Department. First, I want to thank the Creative Education Symposium Committee for inviting me and letting me be part of this panel today. Well, actually, I've been teaching the theories and artistic practices of animation and media art here at the university since 2009. So I guess it's been 13 years that I've devoted myself to animation and art education. And I'm highly interested in pursuing like new approaches teaching. Approaches to teaching and especially integrated art education. So I'm very excited to share my experience and hopefully discuss some ideas on teaching practical art courses online today. So I'm ready to embrace insightful thoughts from the other panelists. So I'm very looking forward to the sessions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next from the Taiwan, Professor Janaka at Tainan National University of the Arts. Please.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Janaka Rajapakse, a Sri Lankan working in Taiwan at Tainan National University of Arts. My school is Graduate Institute of Animation and Film Arts, and also I'm the visiting scholar at the Tokyo Polytechnic University CG Application Laboratory. And today I'm really happy and I'm glad to share my thoughts and practice, especially which has done in this pandemic era. And it's very important for everyone to redesign or rethink for future directions. And also it's a great honor to share with many Asian scholars in this symposium. Again, I would like to focus about the creative education, not only just on the internet media, but also we have to think about a future would be in immersive media. Again, thank you very much for letting me to join this symposium and giving opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janaka Sensei. And next from Indonesia, Professor Banung at Bandung Institute of Technology. Please.
Okay, thank you, Matsuguma Sensei. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very glad to be here. My name is Banung Grahita from Bandung Institute of Teknologi. So actually, I got my PhD from Japan, from Tokyo Metropolitan University. So there I met Professor Baba there. So in ITB, I teach in visual communication design program. I teach visual communication studio, character design, and animation course. And after the pandemic, I think we all face the same problem to how to teach a design practice to the student. So today I'm very glad to have discussion with you all to find a way how we develop our creative education in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And finally, as one of the case study in Japan, I will make a report at the end of the first half of the sessions. So my major is the game. I love game, and my major is game and CS game and gamifications. I'm studying now. Okay, Now let's move on the first case report. So Professor Mees, every panelist has the 10 minutes reporting. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, please.
Okay, thank you. So I'm glad to share with you. Today, I will talk about the art education and practice under the coronavirus from the Tsinghua University's perspective. Actually, as you know, China mainland was the first place where we suffered from the COVID-19 all over the world. As early as January 2020, we had this domestic pandemic. It was just the Spring Festival and the winter holiday. So most of Chinese universities have announced that all students stay at home. So we started the first all online semester, the spring semester 2020. So as a statistic data, during the spring semester 2020, Tsinghua University have opened more than 4,000 classes. So we mainly use Zoom, then we changed to a domestic software Tencent meeting. We also use a Tsinghua developed platform, which is called Ring Classroom. In this platform, it allows teachers to interact with students, such as assign some work, homework and do some Q&A immediately. So next, I would like to introduce my own experience. In that semester, I was teaching one lecture, which is called Interaction Technology 1. This is a lecture for students from Information Art and Design major, and it's mainly an interaction prototyping classes. We encourage students to use Arduino and mockup. So these classes, we encourage students to learn coding, design, storytelling, and teamwork. So in the online semester, we met many challenges. The first challenge was the toolkit. Because these classes, we will use some hardwares. So in previous years, we all assigned the toolkits for each student in the class. But in that semester, students are all at home. So we had to prepare all the toolkits and deliver it to each student home. It was quite complicated because students are living lots of different places. You can see maybe later. So this is from one final presentation, students' teamwork, final presentation slides. So you can see because these classes encourage teamwork. So one team, they have 3 members and they are respectively lived in Beijing, Urumqi, and Macau. So during the final projects, each student have to work one piece. So the artwork had traveled more than 1,000 kilometers from Beijing to Urumqi to Macau, then back to Beijing. So it's a quite fantastic story, I think. It's quite a ubiquitous experience. And this is some pictures students shared to me. So they show how they do the mock-ups at their home. They will do some Arduino connections, do some simple mock-ups, do character settings. They also do some integration and hardware testing at home. So from the picture, we can say maybe it's kind of in living room or maybe even in kitchen. So students during that semester, they all did homework like this. Another challenge is that as a teacher, we have to encourage students to positively facing or respond to the coronavirus situation. So even under this situation, we will show our attitude. So I encourage students to how to show their positive attitude to this coronavirus. So as a final project of these classes, students have decided this theme. In Chinese, it's called 宅家迷惑行为大赏. But maybe many Japanese friends, you can see it's quite like Japanese. Actually, in China, we call it pseudo-Japanese because we borrowed some Japanese word, but in Chinese, they have different meanings. For example, the first word, it means at home, and the last word, maybe you can understand is a wall. But the middle terms, actually in Japanese, is something bad, but in Chinese, it's quite different. It means some ridiculous activities. So students want to show how they will do some ridiculous activities during the at-home semester. So I will show some students' homework so you can see how they respond to the coronavirus situation. So in this work, students made the mock-ups, interaction story installations to show how they attend online courses. So I suppose it's me. So they draw it's me as a teacher, and sometimes the teacher will pick up some students to answer the question. Students are required to open the camera, but sometimes when the camera is opened, there will be some ridiculous things. For example, maybe parents appears, or even nobody present. Yeah, just like this, you will never know what happened when you ask some students to turn on the camera. Even some students may be doing fitness at home during the class. So actually, this hardware installation are made by Arduino, and with some paper wood, they made very simple mock-ups to show this concept. Okay, the next one, another group tried to show their positive or even optimistic attitude to the coronavirus situation. They made a mock-up to show how they can celebrate in the balcony. So there is some friends in different balconies, and they play music instruments and to celebrate something during the coronavirus. It's a quite interesting scenario because normally we cannot see it like this, but from the news we can know not only China, maybe in European countries, in Japan, we may have some kind of remote communications from balcony. Maybe they will be singing, dancing, or just playing music. So this kind of homework, they have used their skills learned from the classes to use Arduino and mockups to do something to respond their attitude to the coronavirus situation. Okay, that's my sharing with you about the Tsinghua education practices. Hope to have your ideas or comments maybe later. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Mi. And the next panelist is the Professor Jinny. It's okay.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, but very slow. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yep.
Okay, so let me start.
Please.
Okay, thank you again for inviting me over for this Stuff for Education forum. But first, before I jumped into the case study on the creative education online, I like to get some brief information about our sports and the animation department first. Actually, the K-Arts has a very unique format as an art school, and it is the only national art university offering the comprehensive learning environment and to develop the artist and academic capability for students. Actually, our school has our school is located in Seoul, and over 1,000 courses offered at 6 art schools on 3 campuses, and 27 art-related departments is composed of the 27 art departments. And our school is focusing on the incorporating both practical lessons and theoretical education. So each department curriculum has been designed to help students understand the specializations of each discipline for smooth cooperation. Actually, the animation department is under the School of Film, TV, and Multimedia, and was the Korea's first national educational institute for media arts. And it has 5 departments, and the animation department actually offers like 4-year BFA courses and 2-year and 3-year master courses together. As you can see that we have like such a small group of students, actually a little bit different from each department. But in case of the animation department, only 15 students are selected per year. So the competition for the entrance exam is pretty high and tough. And we just finished the first round of the entrance exam last week. So I'm very excited to see that the new fresh, like new student for the next year. So at first, when I was told that we need to conduct online class last year when the pandemic was when pandemic happened. So the first thing I had to think of is about the right format and live video platform that myself and the students can get easily access to. But around that time, the school didn't have like a proper the video platform. So we decided to use the Zoom. So I conducted an online class through the Zoom for 2 years. But fortunately, from this semester, school set up the school own the video platform, which is called the Blackboard. So it's sort of like a transition period this semester. So from the next year, we are going to use our own school platform, which allows like not only video lectures, also like communication and evaluation all together. So first, I had to decide which way I have to go, like either pre-recorded class or 100% live video, or blending classes together. But last year, sort of like the environment was, it's much better than this around the time. So I tried to have the blending class. So having like a lecture through the online class and also practical exercise in offline the class. And so it works very well. It worked very well. And the second one is that what I really considered was that what to teach. I mean, like project ideas, because it was obviously possible for me to conduct like some with some like school like facilities, because sometimes the school shut down from time to time. So it was really hard for me and the student to get access to school facilities. So I had to come up with some way to find out that easy access for the student to use that software, or like also like personal device for their project. And most important thing is that I consider for the online classes that how make the student engage the class and interact with each other. And also I can how can I provide the proper like feedback in real time. That was my most important thing before I conduct online classes. So this is just so that's why first I decide to the 100% online live courses for this year. Obviously, this is because it's possible because I have such a small group, like 15 or 20, sometimes under 10 students. It's quite useful and convenient for me to conduct online class with a small group. And it's much easier to interact and provide the feedbacks, of course. And one of the my class, including practical exercise, is the media art workshop. And actually, the media art workshop, the purpose of the media art workshop is that to explore the variety of ways that to create interactive art pieces, paying attention to various media implementation methods and platforms. So in this class, students created interactive animation or interactive art pieces utilizing software tools or simple programming language in this class. So, but this is not for like, the learning program itself. It's more like how students put their ideas, original ideas or story or characters into the interactive art pieces. So it is really challenging for me to choose that the right software to teach the students. So at first, before the pandemic, in this class, there were like a couple of like practical exercise projects. One is that projection mapping. But obviously, it is possible these days to conduct the projection mapping because it needs a certain like facilities, school facilities. So I decided to change it, project idea from projection mapping to perhaps like AR, some sort of like a simple AR program using their own ideas and on like the stories. This is just the samples of the projection mapping class offline before the pandemic happens. But sometimes, as I just mentioned, that I giving the lectures through the online, but if necessary, because it is possible because I have like a small group of students, so that we from time to time we sort of like get together and try to make an installation and check up on the projects once in a while, but not that often because it was obviously it's quite I mean it happens like last semester. It actually was available. School like using the school facilities was available for the first semester, but for the second semester, it's quite difficult to have like offline classes. So as I just mentioned, I try to find out that some new like way to teach you that interactive art. So I find out that one of the the software available online, and students can easily can access and download and install, which is like a Sparkle AR created by the Facebook company. It's very easy and especially very friendly for like art school students. So and I always told telling the students it doesn't have to be too complicated. It's just a simple programming with their own ideas will be great. So I teaching the remotely, and also the good thing is that with the online classes that I can actually give that very detailed instructions or feedbacks through the online class. So the students are very happy about doing the online class with the practical project because they understand from the beginning. And also if they have like some problem, they can they actually simply share their screen, and we can figure out what is wrong. and stuff. So it was quite useful and quite efficient way for us to conduct practical exercise project through the online with the Sparkle AI. And also the most important thing is that I learned from my experience is that how to make the student to engage the class. So I set up the online mentoring sessions after lecturing. So and I give them specific the feedbacks per individual students. Actually, this also allows me to reach students who wouldn't normally engage the class sometimes. So it was very useful time. And this is the sample of that student to share their screenshot, and I just giving the feedback in real time. And also students having their presentation through the online class in real time as well. And this is another, this is the online mentoring session that I set up. Obviously, this is time consuming for me, and it put me extra efforts and extra time because it's all conducting after the class. I set up the mentoring sessions and students sign for the mentoring session very freely. So 2 or 3 hours per week. So students are very fond to the coming to the mentoring session because students are looking to continue their practical art exercise education, and also really looking for the feedbacks from the teachers and the professors. And this way it really works. And this is one of the examples that students actually presented their own her own individual project, and then I just give the proper feedback in real time. So if the directions or story wise and character wise and stuff. So sometimes I just draw during the sharing script and give the specific guidelines and stuff. So I guess it's still challenges. The online classes are still challenges, but at the same time, it's a unique benefits. So I'm still miss that we can read my students expressions in person and communicate with the student in person. But the online class really allows us to create a new environment, and also provide us increased flexibility to teach. So I guess it's still hard to convey sometimes, but it has benefits and the challenge at the same time. So what I learned from my online class, this is another samples that from students that they actually make some interactive art pieces from their own animation, story, and elements or something. So they make the simple animation games using their characters and stories. That's really students was really engaging to this project because it's related their own ideas and original stories. Anyways, and this is another examples from students. It also done during the online class. So one of the students is the project was the VR tune, but she decided to bring the ideas to the interactive game as one of the game in my video arts workshop. So it worked pretty well, and I'm really happy about the result of the students project at the end. So that's what I can share the experience. Be creative and be experimental, and get some flexible mind, and try to have a convergence learning method. That's what I learned from my the online teaching experience. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Jinny. And so we move to the next panelist, Professor Janaka Sensei. It's okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Please prepare your slide. Yep. Yeah, good.
Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Is that okay? Yeah, okay.
Please.
And welcome to the session. What I have to share about the case studies on creative education after COVID-19. I'm omitting the introduction part I have already given. And my research interests, including the motion capture, computer animation, immersive media, new media art, digital and haptic, especially for teaching this field online, it was a really challenge because in 2020, after COVID, the situation 2020 was not affected much in Taiwan, and then, but the number of student participation we had to limit. And I'm going to share here one of the case study and introducing the AR for adapting as the curriculum, the techniques for animation education. I was experimented with students who are not from animation background, who are from the applied music, and then they were participating in the course, the annual course, 6 weeks, specialized for VR animation. The tool I have used AnimVia and Quill for creating contents. The challenge was how can we utilize the technology for online education. It was a really challenge. The number of participants was about 48 students. They were doing their creations as the project-based learning. We let students to be paired with 3 students and proposed the contents and made the contents, but teaching method was really challengeful. And I was sharing, can you see my video? Can you see my video in there?
Yes.
Yeah, and the challenge was how can I teach the VR in different perspective, because sometimes the learning session, they are not in the laboratory, and I had to share my the screencast and also the point of view, point of view from the VR, and all these videos we were managed through the OBS and streaming through the Google the Meet and also school e-learning system. And then students will get the training how to use the tools for make the animation, especially for animation principles as well as the storytelling. They were trying to do this kind of the lecture pre-recorded and also uploaded to the system. They can download and see the how we are doing. And meanwhile, sharing the real-time the teaching. I was in the studio and then let them to see how I'm using the device and also learning about the animation concept specialized for the virtual reality animation. And the contents, then after the learning, we limited the access, the location, especially 4 sets of HTC Vive environment. Students were able to access it. But challenge was pandemic issues, for especially pandemic prevention measures we had to carry, especially for the VR. They are sharing same environment, and then we need to keep the enough epidemic prevention measures, and we provided the VR disposable eye mask and also provided the sanitations for the cleaning the place as well as the devices. And students were able to use this for 6 weeks and made the contents for VR animation, they were able to export for different platforms, for like the YouTube, the 360-degree, and also for the normal typical 2D version. They were trying to, they exported them. And here with I'm sharing few of creation what they have made within the 6 weeks, learning about the animation, especially for VR animation, and like the few contents. Students were able to try some different type of storytelling skills for camera language, and also try to tell the story in VR. And but some of the students still like the typical storytelling, like using the normal point of view based storytelling. They still were able to make something interesting contents. The thinking in VR, making in VR, and also the presenting in virtual reality. And I was also teaching in virtual reality. It was a huge challenge to overcome this the network issues, and also disambiguity of the point of views. Then the different type of camera we are composing into the one video and sharing on real time. And second case study was I'm concerning about the new normal life, because like art and gallery and festivals, we can concern as we call the bar, according to the Professor Nonaka and Takeuchi, concerning about the Seki model. The socialization and externalization was the main one of main part for creative education, especially COVID-19 affected our social interaction and gathering. So it was a huge issue on the especially for festivals. And I'm giving the brief introduction about the Asia Network Beyond Design. Was founded in 2007 for the purpose of the culture values expansion through the convergence of each area's characteristic. The first exhibition was held in 2008, and then so far 56 exhibitions were displayed. About over 16,000 creations were exhibited. And when we concerning these AMBD try to communicate beyond the genre of the art and design for last 13 years. And also we started the special exhibition series out of the Asia, trying to a little bit go beyond the Asia Pacific since 2017. The first was held in Sapporo, and then moved to Munich and Colombo, and then Jeju Island. And then, then we faced the big issue about physically moving to the place was not able to due to the COVID pandemic situation. And then we introduced this year online exhibition, and we developed the virtual gallery. We wanted to display this one in a different form. And the first mode we used developed the immersive VR for HTC Vive and Oculus. They can download and integrate within these the haptic VR devices. And the second mode we made the panoramic view in 4K scale. They can entertain through the devices. The final one is a typical gear VR. And this time, theme was the new normal. And also over 80 artists from 10 cities, and 2 solo exhibitions was exhibited. And we successfully were able to held the opening ceremony, tape cutting activity online. Because a typically art exhibition, we did the tape cutting event. It is not able to do in the virtual world, but we were trying to prepare the all participants from the Tokyo, Seoul, Tianjin, Taipei, Kuala Lumpur, Tainan, Bangkok, Shanxi, Colombo, and Shanghai. Everyone were joined. Over 100 participants were joined the event, and we were live stream the event, especially for mixed reality view of the virtual the gallery. And the first one, for the live experience, and we were trying to give them the virtual workflow, I mean locomotion through the devices like the immersive devices. But also we let people to try later, install, and then engage with these contents throughout this whole year, using their own devices. And this is a typical VR device they can use for navigate the contents. And also we provided the other type of VR, like a static VR using the panoramic view rendered into spherical 4K, and they can entertain with their own device using the PC base or using the tablet and phones to interact with the contents. And also low detail version we utilize for the Gear VR for the people who don't have the special devices like a high-end head-mounted display. And they can still use the gallery for using these Gear VR, placing their phones using the typical the Gear VR, even Google Cardboard. And then my conclusion part of this speech about we are now currently adapting for this the new normal life, but still we need to develop more immersive method for the people. Immersive method quite easy for understand, and also we can give another new environment for distance learning method, especially for the passive interaction. To improve the immersive passive interaction between the virtual and physical, it should be focused about more personalization. And we have a high risk and barriers in network, but especially not only concerning about the teaching contents in the immersive environment, is an alternative to find a new form of interaction and communication to strengthen this the future online education targeting after COVID, or I mean post-COVID learning technologies. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to discussing this discussion session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Janaka.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next one is Banung, Professor Banung.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. I share my screen.
Yeah.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Professor Matsuguma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So good afternoon, everyone. So this is my session. So I will share about case study on creative education after COVID-19 in Indonesia. So I use my classes. So I taught character design course for this semester. First of all, I would like to introduce our program. So our program is undergraduate program on visual communication design. It is under Faculty of Art and Design. So our faculty is art faculty within a technological institute, like that. So I'll start my presentation. So I'll skip this part. So let me introduce my course. So this is a character design course. It's about 3 credits. So in our university, 3 credits is mean it's a studio class or practical courses, like that. And then there are 50 students that took this class. So in this course, students learn the process and principle of character design in various technique and style. And then there, this is only the design, but it's intended to be applied in comics, animation, game, or any storytelling media. So basically, this is a collaborative and project-based class. So the student will work in the team, doing in a project in 1 semester. They will do the research, developing concept, designing character, and finishing their artwork, like that. So this is the class activity. The first is online lecture and discussion, and then there are practical training, and there will be an online interaction that real time, synchronously, and non-real time. for the ideation and brainstorming, and then also will be interaction session for design review and feedback. And the last activity is online presentation. So in ITB, in our university, we use mainly we use our own LMS, learning management system. It's developed in our university. It's called EduNext, and we also use Microsoft Teams for the project coordination, and then we also use Zoom for the video meeting or video conference, and last we use Miro for the brainstorming and interaction process. So, okay, the lecturing process, this semester we do the lecture is fully online, and most of them are done by video conference, and then all the material is uploaded into the LMS platform. So we have like this. So all the learning material is uploaded to the EduNext, our LMS platform, before the class, and student can learn the topic in advance. We also have a pre-recording video, and all the lecture, the online lecture are recorded, and it is uploaded to the LMS, so the student can study and rewatch to learn more about the lecture. So I think for the theoretical part, it is no problem, I think, for the online. So I would like to share about the practical part, the design training. So for the design training, we have several challenges. So as we know that the design education is an experience-based knowledge, so it should be done by student himself. And then for the practical training, reviewing student work is important. And in that training, student need to see the practical example. So here, one of our process, usually we did this kind of interaction in the classes. So the lecturer can face-to-face with the student, and they give their feedback to the student in the real time, face-to-face. And then interaction. So the interaction between lecturer and student is very important, but also interaction between student is also important. So usually in the class we push our student to have discussion with each other. They do a brainstorming. They do reviewing their idea, their sketches, their design, like that. But I think this is the process, that the design process that we teach the student. So the first one, they do the design research. Then from the research, we always do a discussion. And then after that, they do an ideation. They make an image board and design sketches. And we all review the sketch, the design, and have a discussion, a feedback. And then they make a solution. From the solution, we review and give a reflection. The red one is the important process in the practical training. So in the middle area, the problem is how we can ensure that the creative process is occur in the classes. So this is our classroom. So for the creative process, we arrange our classroom like this. So we arrange the desks so the students have their own workspace, and then they can discuss and see each other work. And then, the interaction between the student is very intense in the class. But in the online class, we cannot do this. So we try to find a way how this kind of interaction in the physical classroom can be bring into the online class. From our experience, that this kind of interaction cannot be done only with a video conference, like a Zoom on and so on. Class in a Zoom is it's boring for the student. Some of student maybe they not they turn off the camera, and then we cannot see our student in this classroom. So we think it should be a better way to to do the classes for this kind of course. So we try to make this virtual course using this platform. So this is a mirror. It's basically an online whiteboard. So we use this for our interaction process. So basically, this is our student board. We have students work in teams. So each team will upload their progress of their work to the whiteboard. This is some example. So here we can see that students do their research, they do a visual research, and then they uploaded the result into the whiteboard, and lecturer and the assistant can give a note to the student. And using this whiteboard, we also can make a correction into the student design. This is another example for our process. Sometimes we do this in the not a real time in a real time process, but sometimes we do this interaction real time. So we combine the mirror with the Zoom video meeting. So here I can give student a correction in the design with this in this platform. So the student also attend the whiteboard is in the real time. But the most importantly, I think with this platform, each student can see other team projects, so they can inspire each other. And also, what is interesting part of this platform that we think the student is enjoy this process, because we found they make a doodle in the platform. Sometimes they give a fun comment to to their friend, and their friend is commenting back like that. So I think this method is enjoyable for the student. But not only Miro, but we also try to use another platform such as Figma for the interaction design and so on. Here are some example of our student works that developed with using the interaction in Miro platform. So this is a project for the character design. The output is creating a character Bible, a design book for a character that will be developed into animation. First, they conduct an online survey to their targeted audience and make a story premise that is suitable for the audience. And then after that, they do a research. For this semester, the research is limited because the student cannot go outside. So all the research is done through the internet. They gather the visual data to the internet and then upload it to the Miro platform. And me and then other and my assistant give comment to this visual data. This is another example of the student research. Then this is the result, the design. So what we can study for, atau what we can learn from this experience. I think the first, the guidance, review, feedback from the lecturer are crucial for students in practical training. So the real interaction in the classroom still the best practice. However, by using the online platform like Miro and so on, it could be very helpful. Interaction between students is also important. To see other student work, evaluate it, and evaluate their own work is part of the training. And then what we can benefit from this online platform by using digital platforms such as learning management system, cloud drive, and online whiteboard. I think the process of practical training could be well documented. So I think that's all from me. Thank you for attention. Maybe for the rest, we can make an interesting discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Banung. Thank you. And so finally, I'll talk about my activities. I'll share my slide. Please wait. Okay. So hello again, everyone. My name is Hiroyuki Matsuguma at the Kyushu University. So let me now introduce a case study, the virtual OHASH campus project that I was involved in. And first, let me explain the course in the Faculty of Design. The Faculty of Design at Kyushu University's course has the 5 courses: the environment design, acoustic design, industrial design, media design, and design future. I belong to the media design course. Next, I'd like to introduce the background of this project. So every year, we invite a high school student and residents to the campus for an open campus days to see and touch the artworks created by faculty members or students. However, due to COVID-19, this was no longer possible, and we moved to an online format. To conduct the open day online, we prepared different activities, unlike usual. Then the virtual OHASH campus project was launched, in which we created a CGI model and held events in it. The students took the initiative in planning and production, which provided them with education outside the classroom. The number of participating students is 10. The project invited students studying various specialties such as architecture, visual art, and music to join this cross-disciplinary collaboration. This kind of collaboration was an important theme of this project. So we used the cluster as our platform, this project. We had experienced using clusters for the virtual art gallery at Adada 2020 last year. Do you remember? So this video is the complete one of the virtual OHASH campus. Please watch for 24 seconds. Okay. So I'll talk about the content creation process from now. And first, we used CAD software to create the architecture model based on the drawings. The software used was ArchiCAD. The environmental design course student created this model. And once the architecture model was created, media course students used 3D CG software like the Blender or Maya and create these models. They photographed and create texture, then applied them to the model for finishing. We also used point of cloud data scanned by LiDAR scanners to create the space for some buildings. Again, students from the media course, design course student were in charge of these productions. And finally, all the models were integrated development software like Unity, and so add the interactive elements and an upload to the cluster for compression. Okay. And so after it was finished, we created another game contents using this campus model because my major specialty is game and I love game and almost young student loves game. So we make the game. This game is called Tag, a game of tag for solving mystery. Please take a look at the movie as well. 35 seconds. So all of the sound are created by an acoustic design course student. For the game production, we add the scenario and internal characters. The enemy characters were modeled using photogrammetry softwares. And motion was added using the Maya and Blender. We are also working on hard mode of this game, Tag Banning, so please try playing it when you have enough time. This is the Tag Banning, very difficult to clear. So for communication during production, we use Zoom and Line and Google Drive sharing the data. To sum up, the goal of this project was for students to learn about challenge of new things, the fields of possibilities of the metaverse, and collaborate between different design fields. So if you have a chance to come to Ohashi campus here, please check the real campus and say hello to the cool sculptures. So let me conclude my presentation now. Thank you very much for your attention. Okay, thank you. So, okay. All right, please wait. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much all the panelists for your interesting reports on your initiative. Now we will move on to free discussion. The moderator for this session will be Professor Baba from Tokyo Metropolitan Universities. Would you please give us your introduction?
Yes,
Please.
thank you for Matsuguma Sensei, and I'm glad to hear to see everyone. My name is Tetsuaki Baba from Tokyo Metropolitan University. My graduate school was Kyushu University, so we have connection each other. So first of all, let me introduce very short. We are in a situation where it is difficult to continue doing the way we have doing before. But in other words, we are in the situation where we are allowed to fail. The failure is okay. Failure is okay. This is a big matter for me. So I want to make the most of it. So instead of my introducing, I like to introduce my some very recent work. It's not a work, it's a prototyping. This is maybe the unexpected for the management, but I like unexpected. Sorry for that. Let me change my screen. Before that, for example, yesterday I made a system to translate for the multi-languages for 2021. Can I send the message to the chat? Yeah, here. So you can see, I send the link so you can see the what I sing in real time. And furthermore, you can translate via Google Translate. Please do not expect the accuracy of the translation because I'm using the Google. And this is one sample for the prototyping. Thanks for the host, the flexible reaction. And next one, maybe the change. Hi. This is one thing that I made maybe 2 weeks ago. For example, this is my system. Last month, I had a face-to-face class for the first time in a long time. It's a long time being. So that I was very impressed with the fact that I could point out directly at the screen. This is a very natural thing to do in a face-to-face class. We already know, but in the Zoom or in the online, it is very difficult to face-to-face point it out with my hand. So I created this application. So last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, it shows your hand on the desktop like this, and here is this one like this. Here we can point it out by my hands. I like this kind of the prototypings. For example, maybe there one more thing, not here. Maybe I pointed out and we can move. We can access directly my hand. This is my change to my screen. Thanks for the management staffs. Thank you. This is me. I like the prototypings and I like I'm now enjoying this hard mode situation. So, okay, let me start the discussion. Thank you for all of the presentators. It was very impressive, and I have very many. I have many findings that you are using or you are accessing the way to the students or the way for the class. So maybe first of all, I'd like to ask some of your thought about this today's presentation. Is there any intuitive that you find interesting in the previous presentations, such as face-to-face or using these techniques or the LMS because we are using different way, and we have no documentation for that online class or the online situations. Okay, let me the first question. Let me say the first question. How do you manage the communication between students to student? I mean the outside the class. The class is we have already the very big and completed system. So how do you communicate or manage the communication between student to student? I'd like to ask some. How about that, Professor Jinny? How do you think about this?
Actually, for me and for my students, so we have like each student actually conduct individual like the project per year. They has to they have to finish the like one project, like either animation, short animation, or cartoon, or like an interactive art and stuff. They're on their own way, so it's really sometimes it's quite difficult for them to discuss things to each other, I mean, among students. So I urge them to have like extra, the sessions. I mean, I just told you the mentoring sessions that if like a student wants to like join the mentoring sessions, and also they can give like the other students, the projects actually from the, I mean, we always need not only from the teacher's perspective, but also very important to hear that student perspective more like communicate with each other. So one of the ways that I try is like set up the mentoring sessions with a small group of the students. That's the way I am doing.
Yeah, great, thank you. So how do you think, Banung, Professor Banung?
Okay, thank you, Professor Baba. So I think for our class, for my class, the student can communicate each other with using like messenger, like line group on and so on. But for their project, I let them to use our board, our Miro board, and then they could upload their idea there, and then their friend can comment, can give a comment to the idea, and then they also sometimes they communicate with a drawing, like a doodle and so on like that. So I think yeah, we find that using online board is very versatile for this communication in for a design project.
Yeah, sometimes we can control their communication, but sometimes they're using their favorite ways to communicate. Yeah. So I'd like to one more same question to Professor Mi. How do you think for the
Okay, as other professors mentioned, I think software platforms quite important. As in Japan or other Asia countries, online are widely used, but in China we are a little bit different because we mainly use WeChat, as you know, from Tencent. Actually, Tencent provides wide ecosystems. So WeChat is just like a Line or Messengers, so students can create different groups, including me or without me, or then they can just use Tencent documents, which is like Google Documents, and they can also use the Tencent pullovers. So they can wisely use this kind of software to manage their communications. I also noticed that Professor Banun mentioned the Miro. Actually, I agree that Miro is a quite powerful toolkit, and recently we also started to use it. I think Miro is not only for situations like under a pandemic, but also in normal situations we can also use it because it's quite this kind of a virtual brainstorming quite encourages students, especially Asia students. I think somehow Asia students have shame, but in virtual communication, virtual brainstorming, they are quite active. So I think this kind of software and platform are very useful to organize the classroom and encourage them to communicate.
Yeah, I agree. Some of students, not only China but also Japan,
Yes.
there are so many students who good at online or who good at on SNS or the internet communications.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I think this online communication will be I think it's not mainstream, but the choice one of choice to communicate. It's a kind of the diversity for the communication. Someone who likes directly communicate, someone who likes directly, not directly, but via the internet communication. We we have one more choice to communicate each other. This is a great opportunity for us, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm,
Yeah, but I feel that I did the project, so to create the virtual Ohashi campus, so the student can use the digital tool for communication very well, rather than maybe us. So the professor and the teacher don't want to use usually, but so sometimes, but have to.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I hope that the communication method is the one of the major the
Yeah.
method. Yeah, I hope.
Okay, Professor Janaka, how do you think the students' communication during this COVID situation?
Yeah, I think for my classes, I have a Facebook group for each class, but close groups. And also they use a different scale of communication, their own among the students, and some the class, the communication group in Facebook Messenger, teacher included. Without teacher also they have another type of communication. Yeah, and for the file sharing, they use the Google Doc, or for the opinion, we use the Google Forms for scheduling. But for mainly for the tacit knowledge sharing, for learning by doing, especially for the VR-based application, because they made the practical sessions, they put the part how much they did, and they upload the part for they are the member who has to do next task. I think that one is very important, because they should have to share more practical communication, not for the information communication, or the contents, what they did, how to do. And this part, I think, very important for not only text media and visual media. They should have to share the view. But for the students, their own contents, like for the project, they are a bit reluctant to share, because for the group production, project-based learning, they are okay to share. But for the independent production, graduation production, they don't be open much to share the contents. But for the graduation production and independent production, what I'm focusing on graduate school, they should they normally has to open communication or the idea sharing. I provided the video and material earlier, then ask in the class time online about their opinion about the contents or storytelling or narrative techniques. That time they were more open and then keep their discussion. For the own contents, originality, kids are still a bit reluctant to share in openly. Yeah, thank you. That's my concern.
Yeah. Thank you. Speaking of open, this is a good way for the students not only communicate in the same university, but we want students to communicate outside the university. I'd like to ask anyone who has event or the symposium between the two or more universities or outside of the university. Maybe the almost professors had that kind of an experience. So how was management? Because the symposium is normally the face-to-face, but the students have to attend on the via online. So they have to make a call for the online situation. So is it is it difficult to have an event on the outside comparing to the face-to-face before the COVID-19? Which do you think? For Professor Jinny, it makes difficult or not?
Actually, we have an international animation co-work project between, among Korea, China, Japan, like 3 schools actually all together every year. So it's been like around 10 years. So we are pretty, familiar with the conducting like online like discussions and stuff. So not really hard, for us to conduct like this like online, like, international, project, I guess.
Professor Matsuguma.
Yep.
Maybe this year, ADAA has makes all process online. Maybe the last year the same. So do you feel the difficulty, that situation or not?
Yeah, so of course the real exhibition is very difficult.
Yeah.
Because usually our field, our field's artwork is using the interaction. So touch the model and shake a hand or talk together. So use a communication. So media artworks is like that. So yeah, very just now very difficult situation. But so maybe from now I hope to change this situation in here from here. But so recently, so another virus will come here also. But so the number of the artworks, the entry numbers artworks not change. Maybe student or another the artist can create the artworks rather than the 2 years ago. So I think.
Okay, thanks. So I'd like to one more question I have. This is a little bit personal question to the Professor Me or the Professor Banung, because I'm teaching the physical computing on my class. So same as Professor Me's situation, I also send some electric materials directly to the students' home. And especially in my laboratory, I send 3D printers, all of members. As a result, it was, I think it was great experience for the students. I have 3D printer on my home. It quite works well for my case. Some of students recently bought their own 3D printers. So I'd like to know the Professor Me, how do you think this? How do you think, is it possible to teach physical computing on the online?
Yeah, it's very interesting question. Actually, last year we had experiments and it seemed successful. So compared to previous years, to be honest, the quality of their work is lower because they have more limitations. They cannot do teamwork face to face. They cannot buy enough materials. But I think basically they can learn the fundamental skills, how to use Arduino, how to use materials to do mockups. That's quite important. And luckily, this year we can welcome students all back to the classroom, so we can do face-to-face physical teachings for the physical computing. Yeah, before that we couldn't imagine how to teach physical computing online, but it was no way. So we had to try our solutions. But we can see students can find lots of solutions. For example, they can buy from Taobao or from other online retailers to find enough materials. Finally, they manage it. I think it's quite important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, oops. So at the last, is there any question each other? Sorry, I spoke a lot. This is the last chance. Yeah.
May I say something more? Actually, I have some idea to share with you. As Baba Sensei just mentioned about the virtual online symposium, I think there is one thing I can share. Actually, in my academy, there was a big problem that how we can exhibit graduate works last year. So at that time, all students couldn't imagine how their exhibition goes on. So in maybe 1 or 2 months, we our academy had developed an online exhibition platform, collaborated with Alibaba group. So luckily it was successful. So all students' graduate work was exhibited online. On contract, it's not only a limitation. Actually, compared to previous physical exhibitions, the visitors raised a lot because everyone can visit it online from everywhere. So we had more visitors. So this kind of situation encouraged us to think more possibilities. So now, even we almost return to normal, we keep continuing to open the online exhibitions to more publics.
Yeah,
it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I think the university situation will be more competitive. Around the world. It's a good global. Okay, so maybe unfortunately we have run out all of time. So please, Professor Matsuguma Sensei. Please go to the next. Kondo Sensei's, Professor Kondo's.
Thank you, Baba Sensei. So thank you very much all the panelists participating today. So I hope we can continue to the exchange of idea, focus on education in the future, please. And so I would like to conclude with a closing remark from Professor Kondo, the president of ADADA, president of ADADA. Professor Kondo, please.
Yes, thank you. Can you see my slide? Okay.
Yes.
I'm Kunio Kondo, president of ADADA. Thank you so much for attending this excellent symposium, all of you. Also, thank you so much, excellent and wonderful talk, all presenters. First of all, I will show you about ADADA briefly. ADADA was established in 2002. The aim of this association is to establish a theoretical or media art design created by the rich harmony of art sense and human logical thinking based on the media technology. 6 alliance members handled ADADA now. ADADA has support ADAA, Asia Digital Art Award. ADAA exhibition was held in ADADA conference from 2018-19 and online exhibition last year. We have published international journals. This journal consists of 2 categories: original article, technical paper, and art paper. Our international journal was published in the J stage and indexed Scopus too. Please read this journal and submit your research paper or artwork, please. So we have a great experience with all of you. I think there are two main contributions to symposium. First, we could have an exchange creative education in universities of Asia area. Second, we could know the advantage of online education. So last, I want to show you my idea for the next step. First is creative education symposium or organized session will be held in the next ADADA 2022. And second, network for an international creative education course for art, design, and media based on this symposium activities with all presenters and ADADA members. Third, special issue of ADADA journal. The topic is creative education research of art, design, and media contents. Please join the ADADA. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Kondo. Okay, thank you for your attention. So here, let me conclude this symposium now. Thank you to all the panelists and the audience members. See you next time at the actual venue. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Please attend the closing
Bye-bye.
award ceremony of the ADADA, please.
Yeah, others participate in.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
they are awarding.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
for
for
today.
Thank you.